We watched a whole lot of TV this year, maybe too much TV, and then we locked ourselves in a room, argued a whole bunch, and ranked the top 10 TV shows of 2016. Making our list by the invulnerable skin of its teeth is Luke Cage. This adaptation of the 1970s blaxploitation comic book of the same name pays enough homage to its sometimes embarrassing roots to keep diehard fans happy, and the fact it featured Marvel's first black superhero wasn't lost on the show's creators. The authentic feel of the Harlem setting, the soundtrack spanning 70s funk to modern hip-hop, and the fearless references to slavery and racism changed the game of superhero depiction on television. Not to mention how cool this was. Consider this a warning. The Americans has just 2 seasons left. If you haven't already, you need to catch up. Think of it as Full House, with a whole lot more family drama, and if Danny Tanner was a Russian spy. Oh, and their neighbor works for the FBI. Okay, so it's not that feel-good show by any means. It's a tense Cold War thriller full of anxiety and emotion. One that covers the professional work of Russian sleeper agents and the challenges of raising American children at home. Talk about balancing work and family life.
We're in trouble.
I know.
Do yourself a favor and watch this show even though you already know how the Cold War ends. The second season of Daredevil may not have been as strong as its debut, but it had some standout moments. And some standout characters. Yeah, the Punisher killed a whole lot of people, and he made such a lasting impression that he'll be getting his own spin-off. Who doesn't have their own Netflix show? A ton of questions remained at the end of season 2. What the hell was that giant hole in the ground? What happens to Elektra? Will Karen still be BFFs with Matt Murdock? And so on. But most importantly, how long will we have to wait for season 3? Fans of HBO's Silicon Valley revel in both Richard Hendricks' successes and failures, especially if those failures end up with him seeing his doctor, who is always pitching incredibly terrible ideas for apps. During season 3, Richard was stripped of his CEO title in favor of Action Jack Barker, who ultimately wore out his own welcome and was ousted himself. Whether it's Richard's roller coaster life or Erlich Bachman's terrible ideas that somehow pan out, there's a lot to love about this show in past season.
Erlich Bachman.
Mr. Bachman, pleasure to finally meet you. I'm a big fan.
Oh, really? Of what? Metamucil?
Will Pied Piper ever reach its full potential? Who knows? But it's a lot of fun watching it flounder. The second season of Ash vs. Evil Dead hit the gas immediately with revved-up chainsaws, fully loaded shotguns, and even a puppet.
Oh, Dinky, wish I had my fluffy cuffs.
It was crammed to the brim with gore, humor, and unexpected twists. You honestly never know when and where Ash is going to end up next. Case in point, this moment when he was pulled through a corpse's rotten anus. As long as you can stomach it, Ash vs. Evil Dead was a hell of a good time, ludicrously funny, and sick at the same time. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. exists in a realm of small budgets and big expectations. Despite being jammed between numerous superhero show competitors and the Marvel Cinematic Universe taking the lead on major storylines, this show didn't run from the fight. In fact, we got to see a whole new take on Ghost Rider. And we also had some magic on the show for the first time with the inclusion of the Darkhold. Anyone who loves comics can respect the brave story adaptations the show made this season. And anyone who just wanted to see shit get blown up can watch this. Does the future of technology and social media trouble you? Well, here's a show that will only exaggerate those fears. Season 3 of Black Mirror continued its excellent depiction of our darkest addictions in the digital age. Looking for a horror story on the dangers of virtual and augmented reality? Or how about a sharp satire on social media where we actually dish out star ratings to each other like we're Uber drivers? There's just one thing to consider when watching Season 3. Save San Junipero for the end because it finishes on a happy note, something that never happens on this show. Here's the premise. Patrons pay $40,000 a day to fulfill their deepest desires in a Western-themed amusement park populated by robots. Westworld played with our minds more than any other show this year. Who's a host? What year are we in? What the hell is the maze?
Consciousness isn't a journey upward, but a journey inward.
So the hosts can think on their own, and that means trouble for the human race, right? Sure looks like it, but there are still a ton of unanswered questions. We can't wait for Season 2, especially if we get to see more of that Shogun Samurai world.
What is this place?
It's complicated.
Oh hey look, a new science fiction show on Netflix that completely plays with our heartstrings by appealing to our sense of nostalgia. There were monsters, superpowers, Eggo waffles, and a collection of kids riding their bikes across the city. It was like Goonies meets E.T. meets the creepiest parts of a Nine Inch Nails video. Regardless, the show seemed to grip the nation as we all mourned the death of the most loyal BFF ever, Barb. We're looking forward to jumping back into the Upside Down next season. Game of Thrones comes in at our hotly debated #1 spot. This season featured some of the best moments in the history of the show. Jon Snow woke up from his cold long nap, the Battle of the Bastards blew our minds, and Cersei returned to power in explosive fashion, murdering a bunch of people while enjoying a nice glass of wine. Plus, now we know why this dude only says, "Hold up! Hold up!" The show is finally free from George R.R. Martin's literary shackles and has set itself up perfectly for the series' dramatic conclusion. Also, can we please see more of this one?
He's my king, from this day until his last day.
So what was your favorite TV show in 2016? Hit us up in the comments and let us know. And if you want to stay up to date with all of our entertainment videos, be sure to subscribe to GameSpot Universe on YouTube. It's GameSpot's permanent home for TV, movies, and comics as of January 3rd. Subscribe now so you never miss a video.